Learn from how in Bashar society they organize themselves to pursue a bigger goal, a common goal, but more bigger goal and common goal. I'm curious how I could translate this to organization development in supporting organizations in their transformations in alignment with the 5 laws, and for people to be able to realize their talents and passions in realizing this bigger goal and creating abundance. I'm also curious how the Trinity manifests in the organizations, especially the neutral one. Thank you.
Well, again, by using the formula, one of the aspects of your life that starts to shape your life is synchronicity. You start to realize that everything is synchronicity. You look at it and experience it in a sense, first and foremost, from a neutral point of view, just recognizing that everything is an orchestration. Everything is connected. There are no accidents. And from that neutral observation that everything is connected, everything is an expression of one thing, then you can start allowing the expression of emotion to ride along with it, to feel the joy of that connection, the joy of that orchestration, the ecstasy of those interconnected communications, and allow yourself to experience the idea of the reflection of synchronicity in your life that says, do this first, do this next, do this now, 1, 2, 3. By bringing the experiences to you in the order in which they contain the highest amount of passion, the highest amount of attraction, the highest amount of curiosity, creativity, inspiration, and joy. Let it organize things in that way. That's how you do that. Until suddenly you start functioning in pure synchronism, being always at the right place at the right moment in exactly the perfect timing, interacting with exactly who you need to interact with, doing exactly what you need to do at that particular perfect moment in time. It will happen that way eventually. It may take some practice, that's okay. Let the process unfold naturally. But basically, that's how you do it. You start from the neutral place of understanding everything is an orchestration, whether it appears to be or not. There are no accidents. Everything is connected. There's a reason why everything is happening. It may not always have to do mostly with you. You may be participating in something for someone else, getting something out of it that's more important for them than it is for you personally. But that doesn't mean it's not important that you participate in a gathering that may help someone else make a realization that helps their soul grow and move forward on their path. It's still a dance. It's still an orchestration. You're there for a reason. It's not an accident where you find yourself. So once you start acknowledging it from that balanced point, that neutral point, then you can start finding the things that are personally synchronistic for you as well, because you're included in that dance. And if you open up to it, opportunities and situations will arise that will contain the passion, the curiosity, the attractiveness that will let you know, all right, this one is for you, and this one is for you. But you will still participate in things that are for others as well, because part of the idea is that you are of service to humanity by being part of the orchestration. And then your life just gets organized that way.
Hello.
Good day. Good day.
Good day to you. Nice to meet you, Bashar.
And you as well. What would you like to discuss this day?
Yes. I have a question concerning out-of-body experience.
Yes.
And I've been having many experiences actually, in where I am in the vibrational state at the gate, let's say at the door of moving out of my body. Yeah. And also multiple experiences in which I was outside of my body, floating at the ceiling, floating on top of my house.
All right. So what's your question?
My question is, I'm a very curious person, curious being, and I want to explore that realm. But I've never been able, because it happens spontaneously, I've never been able to control it or put myself at ease that I can go easily out of my body.
But you say you're already experiencing being out of your body. So when you actually experience being out of your body, what do you do?
Well, when I'm stuck.
How are you stuck? How do you think you need to explore other realms?
By moving my energetic body somewhere.
No, not by moving. All you have to do is imagine being in another place and you'll be there. You're thinking of it in physical terms. I have to move. You don't. You just have to imagine feeling that you're somewhere else. Picture that you're somewhere else and you will be there. Movement is not the same in those realms as it is in physical reality. So you can't think of it in the way that you would think of it if you were a physical being. So the next time you find yourself floating on the ceiling or floating above your house, imagine another place that you're familiar with, someplace on your planet, or even imagine being out among the stars or being above the earth. Just picture it and you'll be there.
All right.
That's all you have to do.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
I would also like to ask another question.
Yes.
And it's concerning here on Earth, at a certain point in life, people start to have children.
Yes, sometimes.
Natural thing that occurs. But I'm 32 right now. Many friends of mine having kids, and I love kids. It's such a joy.
Yes.
But I'm doubtful. And I was wondering.
You're doubtful about what?
To have or not have children.
Then don't worry about it. If you've made an agreement to have children, nothing will stop it from happening at the exact correct time. If you haven't made an agreement to have children, then you won't have children. Just let your life unfold by following the formula, following your passion, and let it happen when you've already agreed that it should, because those things have already been determined by your spirit before you incarnated.
Mm-hmm. And what about birth control? If I take the pills, then I won't, Don't
worry about that either. Again, if you're supposed to have children, then something will happen where you either wind up not taking it and you'll feel that you don't wish to take it, or it won't matter that you take it because things that are supposed to happen can supersede some of the physical elements on your planet anyway. There have been many people that have been told by your doctors they cannot have children, and yet they do. So don't worry about the idea of the physical parameters. Something will synchronistically occur that will make it possible if you've made that agreement. All you have to do is go with the flow and just trust your feelings and instincts at every given moment.
I will. That is a nice thing to hear.
Don't worry about it.
All right. One last question. I'm a dancer and my life is dancing. I teach dance, I perform. Yes. And I notice in the world, the arts in any way, shape or form are very, a necessity, are very well here on this earth. And I was wondering what the meaning of arts in any shape or form is on an earthly level or on a cosmic level.
Art is a basis for self-reflection, for communication, to put one in touch with oneself and how one responds to the art.
Mm-hmm.
So art is a mirror.
Yes. And do you have arts in other?
Absolutely. Many different kinds. I myself am a sculptor, as well as being a first contact specialist.
And how does that visualize? What does that look like?
There are many different things it can look like. We can form certain materials spontaneously that are nanomaterials, what you would call a kind of metallic crystalline substance that can be formed into many different shapes. And the idea is that certain sculptures can be made so that they change shape with the person that is observing it, to
I don't
literally
know.
reflect what is going on in that person in their observation of it. So it literally functions like a kind of symbolic mirror.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, the art that is being shaped by what the person that's looking at it.
Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yes, we think
I
so.
hope I can experience that.
There are forms that you can create that will react and respond to people in different ways. Some of it may include electronics and so on and so forth, until such time as you actually develop physical materials that will respond the way I am telling you ours respond. But there are many ways to do it. So use your creative imagination and see what you can come up with. Certainly dance itself is something that can be interactive and a two-way street, so that the response of the audience can change the way that you dance in the moment, if you are receptive to the mood of the audience.
Ooh, that's a very nice inspiration.
All right. See
Thank
what
you
you
so
can do with
much.
that.
Yes. Thank you so much, Bashar.
You are so welcome. Anything else?
No, that's it for today.
All right. Then happy dancing.
Thank you so much.
Greetings, Bashar. I was wondering if you could kindly discuss with us what a typical day entails for an adult being on your planet. The reason I'm interested in is most adult humans, especially in the West, have to wear different hats on a given day, between, dividing our time between sleeping, working, being, a family member, such as a parent, a kid, a sibling, etc., and creating some personal time off to find more joy in life. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to wear all these hats, so I was wondering if you would have any words of wisdom in terms of compartmentalizing our day to find that joy, to create that joy more. Thank you.
Again, it's not about compartmentalizing. It's about allowing synchronicity to be the organizing principle so that one experience flows into another more naturally. It's not about finding time to experience personal joy. It's about choosing those things that allow you to experience personal joy in the entirety of your life, every moment, even though things may be different expressions at different times, and may be representative of different relationships that you have, and different communications and different experiences that you have, that all fall within the idea of your personal joy. It's not about saying, well, I have to do this and I have to do that, and I get these little tiny moments where I can be personal for myself to find joy for myself. If it's not all joyful, you're not going about it in the way that we suggest by following the formula, and you're not allowing synchronicity to be the organizing principle that allows you to flow smoothly from one event to the other, one experience to the other, in a way that is overall joyful for you. That means you're not being your natural self. So be your natural self. Follow the formula. Let synchronicity organize the things that are important and relevant for your life experience, and you will ultimately discover that every single one of those things can be experienced perhaps in a slightly different way than what you're doing.
17 years old, my granddaughter, and she's autistic but very high functioning, very verbal, and she has highly superior autobiographical memory, which is also considered called HSAM. From what I understand, there's only like 100 cases reported, but I suspect there's many more. My question is, what is the function of this ability? I'd like to have your spin on it. I've been researching quite a bit, and I'm trying to figure out how to be as supportive as possible, other than her being a fantastic assistant, to me. My memory is not so spot on. So she will basically remember everything. We could go back to, like, what did we do a year ago today? And she'll say it was a Wednesday, and it was raining, and so-and-so visited, and we ate this for dinner, and I've been keeping journals and testing her on it, and she's spot on. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what would be the function of this ability, and how can it be supportive of her, or in a spiritual sense, like how would I direct it? Okay, thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you.
Well, there are many ways in which this ability can be utilized in your society. Obviously, in a sense, a person like that can be a living library for the idea of the events in her life and others with whom she interacts, so that she can recall flawlessly the ideas, the nuances, the immediate moments, all the way back to her birth. So it can be used for someone to record events so that she is an absolute keeper of those events, so that there is no misunderstandings, no mistakes about what was going on at a certain point in her life and the lives of the others that she interacted with. So it can be used that way. At the same time, it can also be understood as something that fixes a particular reality and freezes it in a certain way. It can be utilized to understand how the level of commitment to a certain idea can be expressed when someone focuses strongly enough on a particular path, on a particular idea, so that there is no deviation from it whatsoever. So it can be used that way as well. Because many people on your planet wonder, well, how can I have the discipline to stay on the path? How can I not stray from the path? The quality that she exhibits can show you the degree to which a being can focus on a particular guideline, on a particular path, to the absolute exclusion of any other path. Not that she's necessarily exhibiting it that way, apparently, but that can also be representative of that degree of laser-like focus on the idea of what your soul's path is, with no deviation whatsoever. That you are walking that razor's edge, and there is absolutely no question that you will ever lose your balance or fall off of what may appear to be a very thin path. Because to the person with that kind of focus, the path is actually quite wide, and there's just no way they're going to lose the sense of where they're going, because there's no way they lose the sense of where they've been. It is a direct, linear path that keeps them on the straight and narrow with absolutely no deviation. It can be used to understand that degree of focus as well in any endeavor that might be representative of someone's soul path and their passion in life.
Oh, hello, Bashar. It's lovely to meet you.
And you as well. What would you like to discuss this day?
I'd like to discuss that I have a real problem of handling anger in other people and conflict situations, because it seems like anytime there's a conflict around me, what happens is I try to keep the peace, but the conflict seems to escalate to the point where if I start feeling angry myself, that's the point when it actually starts de-escalating. And I don't understand why I have to take on the anger vibration myself to actually stop the situation.
You don't. But by doing so, you appease others, because there is a saying on your planet that misery loves company. So when they understand that you are reflecting the same thing that they are reflecting, they feel more at ease, because it prevents them from really facing what's going on within themselves that makes them angry to begin with. So anytime a lot of individuals will show more calmness to a person who is angry, it can actually make them angrier, because they feel they're not being heard. But when you become angry, they now feel that you're a kindred spirit, that you understand them more, that you're speaking their language. Now, that doesn't mean you have to become angry, but that's what's happening energetically and dynamically.
Right. Okay.
So there may be other ways that you can let them know you hear them, and therefore that can calm down their anger. So it's not about you having to match their frequency of anger. It's about being able to relate to them in some way, shape, or form that you truly hear what they're saying and that you validate what they're saying and validate their emotions for what they're going through without necessarily having to go there yourself.
I see.
So it depends on how you're keeping the peace that makes the difference.
I see. I see. Okay. That leads on to my second question that a couple of months ago, I found a new job and it was really, really exciting. The way I found it, it was just so not usual. It was like, it was great. And I joined a new company, and ever since, everything is uphill struggle. And I don't understand it, because it feels like it was the highest joy that you are mentioning. I was following my highest joy, and it was great in the beginning.
All right.
It's just uphill struggle.
All right. So this may be an opportunity for you to change your definitions about what kind of challenges you are facing instead of defining them in a negative way. So if it really is representative of your passion, very often following your passion, as I've told you, will unleash one of the tools within the kit that is the reflective mirror that reveals to you anything within you that might be causing misalignment in the way that you are approaching the things that are representative of your passion. So you may be having negative definitions that challenge you to change those definitions about what it is you're doing. Can you be more specific about what the job is and give us an example of what one of the challenges is that you're experiencing?
Sure. It's an office finance department job, and I have great experience in it, but this company has a great reputation in the country. When I joined them, I thought it would be a smooth process of me just fitting in, but several of the processes are not working. They're in the middle of a huge turmoil of changing everything upside down. And it just feels like whatever I'm trying to do, I'm doing it wrong.
All right. So what kind of discussions have you had with the people running the company about the way in which you may be going about things or in the way that you're experiencing things? Have you had any discussions?
I have, yes. I asked for help and support, and they are giving it to me, but they are new themselves. It's the whole company is being, the management being replaced, and it feels like uphill struggle. It feels like nobody really has a clear picture of what we are doing at the moment.
All right. Is there something you can do to provide a clearer picture of what needs to happen?
I think I might, but given the rate at which I'm making mistakes at the moment, I feel like there's so much to learn and at the same time so much to change.
All right. But what I'm saying is maybe you were attracted to be there because they need your help in clarifying things in a way that would actually make it easier for everyone and smoother for everyone to operate toward their goal. So are there things that you can think of that would actually allow things to be smoother that you could share with the people running the company that might actually help them make the company run more smoothly?
Yes, I think I could. Actually.
Then why don't you have those conversations? Because maybe that's why you're there.
Yes. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have one more question.
Yes.
And this is about, I would really love to experience oneness. And I don't know if there is a specific meditation that I could do or some kind of a principle, mind training. I could do.
Well, it sounds like your dog has the information that you need. Oneness.
Sorry?
You say you want to experience oneness, and I said it sounds like your dog has the information that you need.
He probably does.
So, oneness, what is your definition of experiencing oneness? What do you imagine that would feel like?
I imagine it would feel peaceful and calm and without conflict.
Peaceful and calm. So, anything else? What does oneness mean to you?
It means going with the flow and being helpful to people and to myself, and just basically just smooth living.
All right. Being of service in that way. So you have just listed a bunch of things that are relatively physically practical. What is it that prevents you from behaving that way?
I guess it's my own attitude.
Yes. So if you want to experience oneness, you have to be one with yourself. You have to be at peace with yourself and not define things in a negative way when you come upon a challenge. So you have to approach them with oneness, with connectivity, with communication. You have to approach them in a peaceful way. You have to have a peaceful energy within yourself and a flow within yourself so that you can experience going with your flow when a challenge arises, because challenges help you grow. They're there for a positive reason. Look at them that way and approach them with your flow. How can this serve me? How can I use this challenge to serve others in a positive way? Dogs are a symbol of service on your planet. So be of service in any challenge that you face, but approach it from a sense of oneness, from a sense of connectivity, from a sense of peace within yourself. Yes?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bashar.
You're welcome.